Hello and welcome, and in this video we are going to talk about how to explain the whole process to someone that has never heard of remote online notarization before, and they want to basically figure out if they're able to do it and if this is something that they can figure out. This is perfect for the general public, or if you have a title company or a law firm that's a little bit worried that they have a clientele that wouldn't be able to necessarily get signed on. We're going to explain the process. You can do it very detailed, but it kind of depends on your audience. If there's someone on the general public line that is asking how to get signed on, I go very high level, something that does not take a lot of time because they just want to know if they can figure out the process and be able to do it remotely. I would just say, I send you an invitation link, you click on it, you go through the steps, you upload your ID, we meet remotely, I ask you a couple questions, and then we go ahead and go on with our day. We do the notarization and then we are all set. You get a copy at the very end. I usually like to say that it takes about 10-15 minutes depending on how tech savvy you are. That is the general high level explanation of what it is that we do. But the other thing is that if you wanted to go more detailed, so depending on who your audience is, if you were talking to a title company or someone that knows a little bit more about the tech side of it, you want to go into a little bit more detail, which I'm going to now. If there is someone in front of you that is actually asking how to get signed on, your signer, basically what would happen is you get the invitation, you get the notarization all set up from you as the notary. Everything is all set up. You send out the invitation, the signer clicks on that, and then they go through a series of a two-factor authentication. What that means is that the first part is that they have to upload their ID. So what counts as an ID? It varies by state. Usually I would highly recommend to basically only say a state issued ID or a driver's license or a valid passport. Look into it. You can always reach out to me or someone in the community or the platform to kind of get some more information, but usually that's what you want. The signer uploads their ID. Sometimes the pushback that you will get is that I don't know how to do that. Well, if your signer knows how to upload a check onto a banking system, so taking a picture of the front of the check and the back of the check and then uploading it, they can do this. It is very much the same thing, and you want to just kind of say it's super easy. I'm going to show you how. No big deal, easy peasy. They upload their ID, the front and the back of it, if it is either a driver's license or a state issued ID, and then usually just the front page of the passport. And then they go through the second part. There's always two parts that the signers have to go through unless they're personally known, but we're not going to go over that. So the second part is either knowledge-based authentication questions or biometrics, but that is only within certain states. I know Florida and Virginia have that available, but not every state does. We're just going to go a little bit more into knowledge-based authentication questions. The platform is going to ask for the last four of your signer's socials, and that is going to basically use that information to go on to the software and pull out questions that are specific to that person. If you've ever gone on to a DMV and asked questions and seen the questions that it asks, have you ever been associated with this address? Do you know any of these people? Was the color of your car any of these colors? It's not necessarily that, but it's questions like that. So it's very specific to that person. They have to answer a certain amount correctly in a certain amount of time. So that is an anti-fraud prevention. They are under the hope that even if they did happen to have the ID and pass the bank grade security check for that, they wouldn't know those questions. That is something that they would have to pass. They have two chances to get it right. Otherwise, it is going to kick them out of the system, usually for 24 hours. That is a little bit of a more detailed explanation. Then after they pass the identity check, they go into the session with you as the notary. You as the notary are always, always, always required to verify the identity. So you always have to check the ID when you are doing these notarizations. Even if they say that it's passed and verified and they are who they say they are, you want to see that ID and you want to verify it against the person that is on the screen, and then just make sure that the name on the driver's license matches what is on the document. That is your due diligence. That is what you have to do each and every time. After that, you have to ask some questions as the notary. You usually have to ask whatever it is required by your state, and then do your research. Hopefully the training would have kind of gone over that, but otherwise your legislation will have that information readily available, or reach out to your Secretary of State. You can always reach out to the National Notary Association too if you're not quite sure. So after that, they are going to apply their signatures. You are going to notarize the document, finalize it, and then the signers will get the copy of their notarization right after. That is basically how to explain the whole entire process. We're going to go into biometrics a little bit after this, and we're going to talk about how to leverage that in the next one. Thank you.